There's a town that people swear they've been to. They remember the streets, the buildings, the signs, even the people they met there. But when they try to go back, it's gone. Not just abandoned, not destroyed, just missing. No records, no maps, no history of it ever existed. At first, you would think it's a mistake. Maybe they got lost, maybe they misremembered. But here's where it gets strange. Too many people reported the same thing. Towns that should be there, but aren't. Places that disappeared overnight. Villages wiped from the map with no explanation. And some of them, they weren't just erased. It's like they were never supposed to exist in the first place. But if places can disappear from reality, what else can? In 2006, a woman named Lillian was driving through Louisiana when she ran out of gas. She pulled into a small town, nothing special. A quiet diner, a few houses. She talked to the waitress, got direction to the gas station, filled up and left. But a week later, she wanted to go back. Maybe grab another slice of pie from the diner. But the town, it wasn't there. She drove the same routes, same roads, same turns. But there was no diner, no gas station. Just trees, empty lands. She checked maps, asked locals. No one had heard of the town. It didn't exist. You will think maybe she got confused, right? Except she still had the gas station receipt, a real physical receipt with the town's name on it. But when she called the number on it, disconnected. No record of the business ever operate. So what happened? Did Lillian drive into the place that was never supposed to exist? And if so, who or what erased it? Let's talk about Ashley, Kansas. According to official records, this town was completely destroyed by an earthquake in 1952. Gone. Wiped off the map. Never rebuilt. But here's the problem. People have visited it recently. Travelers report driving to a quiet town where everything looked outdated. Shops from 1950s. Cars that shouldn't be running. People dressed like they never left that era. Some even claim they spoke to locals who seemed unaware of something is off. But when those same travelers tried to return to Ashley, the roads didn't lead there anymore. Just endless fields. The town was gone. If you look at modern maps, Ashley doesn't exist. But in old maps, they show it. So where did it go? Did it vanish naturally? Or was it erased from existence? So what's the explanation? How can an entire town just disappear? Either people are misremembering, on a massive scale by the way, or reality isn't as solid as we think. Have you ever heard of the Mandela Effect? It's when large groups of people vividly remember something existing in a certain way, only to find out it was never actually that way. At least, not in this reality. But what if it's not just a small detail that change? What if entire places, towns, villages, even cities were once real but no longer exist in this version of reality? What if that at some point we unknowingly shifted to a slightly different timeline and those places were left behind? Maybe it's not the universe that's broken. Maybe it's just us. Our brains are shockingly bad at remembering details. So is it possible that these phantom towns were just similar looking places and our minds filled in the gaps? But if it's that true, why do so many people remember the exact same things, the same non-existent towns? Here's where it gets creepy. Some researchers believed in something called liminal spaces, locations that exist on the edge of reality, places you accidentally stumble into but you can never return to. Some people think these towns aren't actually gone, they are just slipping in and out of existence, almost like they don't want to be founded. Think about it. Have you ever stopped at this strange little town just passing through? Maybe you needed a gas station or like a hotel or quiet diner, and something about it felt off. Anyway, this isn't just about town disappearing. Sometimes it's the people. In 1930s, in the remote Canadian Arctic, an Inuit village near Lake Anjikuni vanished. And I don't mean they packed up and left. I mean they were just gone. A fur trapper named Joey Lebal arrived at the village expecting to see families, fire burnings, dogs barking. But instead, silence. Empty homes, untouched belongings, food is still sitting on tables. No footprints in the snow, no signs of struggle. Even the dogs were tied up outside. They were dead, frozen solid, still chained to their posts. It was as if every person had just ceased to exist. The Canadian Mounted Police investigated. No bodies were found. No explanation. The entire village had been erased along with its people. We've talked about town disappearing, but what happens when someone stumbles into a place that shouldn't be there? In 1954, a man checked into an airport in Japan. He spoke fluent Japanese, had official documents, and seemed completely normal. Until authorities noticed something strange. His passport was from a country called Torrid. There is no country called Torrid. But he insisted it was real. He showed the maps, except the country he pointed to was something else. The world, as he knew it, wasn't the same. Authorities detained him overnight, confused by the situation. But by morning, he was gone. No escape routes, no security footage, just gone. And his documents, they disappeared too. So the question is, was he from a different version of Earth? Or did he wander into the wrong place and reality corrected itself? Maybe these places were never meant to exist in the first place. Maybe sometimes reality accidentally generates something it shouldn't exist. Whether it's a town, or a village, or even a person. And when the mistake is discovered, it's erased. What if these disappearing towns aren't vanishing? What if they were never supposed to be there? There have always been rumors of government experiments in space-time manipulation. Projects like the Philadelphia experiment, where ships supposedly disappeared and reappeared somewhere else. What if certain places, certain towns were affected by this experiment? What if these locations were shifted to another timeline? And if that's possible, how do we know we won't be next? There's another theory. One that explains why some people can visit these places once and never find them again. What if these towns aren't disappearing? What if they exist somewhere between realities? And if you stay too long, if you become part of it, you don't leave. Maybe it's why these places feel slightly off, why the locals seem strange, why everything looks like it's from another time. Because these places are feeding off lost travelers, luring people in, and once you stay too long, you become one of them. Maybe this has already happened. Maybe years ago, you stopped somewhere unfamiliar, tiny gas station. Maybe you had the best coffee of your life. Or maybe you had a strange conversation with someone you swear you knew. But when you tried to go back, it wasn't there. You probably brushed it off, thought you just forget the location. But what if that wasn't the case? What if, for just a moment, you slipped into somewhere you weren't supposed to be? Somewhere that only exists sometimes. And what if someone, something realized you weren't supposed to be there and erased it before you could return? If entire towns can disappear, wiped from maps, erased from memory, what else could be slipping away without us even noticing? Maybe today is a town, tomorrow a person, a moment, a whole piece of history. But hey, before I mysteriously vanish too, make sure to like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe. Because who knows, if you don't, you might not remember even this channel existed at all. Take care of yourself. Thank you for watching.